Hi everyone, it's Dr. Hudgens. I have finished reviewing your final versions of your goals and objectives as well as your discussion boards and have posted feedback in the rubrics within Blackboard. If your latest version of your goals and objectives was not given final approval, please read the notes carefully and understand that you're going to get another attempt to post those. It'll be your third version of your goals and objectives. It will not change your grade, but it will allow you another way to get feedback so that you can be successful. So go back in and read that feedback carefully and touch base if you have questions. If you have been given final approval and you are working on your practicum now, that's fantastic. So I hope as you're putting those pieces together that you're paying close attention to what your log should look like and start to organize your notes according to what you're going to need to type up in your log. Next week, you're going to be turning in your first log. The majority of you will have accomplished clinical hours, and you're going to post those notes about those experiences in your log. I want to remind you that there are 3 boxes. The first box is for your goals and objectives. Those goals and objectives should only be the ones that you have worked on during that time with your preceptor during this time period in the past 4 weeks. It's important for you to know that you may have 1 or 2 goals and objectives in that box. It may not be anymore because you haven't really had a whole lot of time in the past couple of weeks to be with your preceptor. So be sure that the ones that you put in there that are accurate to what you've been doing. The next box, the supportive narrative section, is more than a running list of all the things you did. I want to not just know how you spent your time as it relates to your goals and objectives, but I also want to know your aha moments, the pearls of wisdom you took from that experience, the things that you reflected on and thought, wow, I didn't know that, or I would have never thought about that, or I can use this later. Those aha moments is where the rubber hits the road. It's where your learning occurs. So I want to make sure that you include those reflections in your supportive narrative section. Now, the application section should be where you tell me how all the stuff in your supportive narrative section matters as it relates to your NLN core competencies as a nurse educator. In that box, in the application box, you should cite the NLN competencies and you should be able to reference the goals and objectives that you worked on and how you demonstrated that they were accomplished by the supportive narrative section. So the application section is sort of a summary of, and this is why it matters, and this is why it connects to the core competencies. We want to remind you that the whole purpose of practicum is so that you can practice the skills that are essential to enable you to be a professional nurse educator. Your logs should be a collection of information about that journey toward that end outcome. So that covers that. You've also got a reflection exercise that explores multicultural learning. I want you to be thoughtful about your approach to that. It's not a topic that many of us know a lot about, so take the time to research it, read some articles, read what your textbook says, and outline your ideas before you start typing a paper based on partial knowledge. It's an area that I suspect all of us need to grow in. From an APA standpoint, I would say that you guys are doing a fantastic job. Your reflection paper 1 is going to be kind of the first time I'm going to see all of your APA skills. I'm going to encourage you to use level headings. Avoid direct quotes, synthesize what you've written, synthesize what you've read, and make sure that you're using APA format in your reference list. And know that I'm going to be attentive to those skills. One area I want to heighten your awareness to is when you are asked to include a Christian worldview in a discussion board or in a paper, I want to encourage you not to let it be the last thing you plug at the end of a paragraph. And I especially want to caution you not to just cite a verse as a separate sentence and then put a period and then make a generalized statement about that verse. That's not really biblical integration. That's including a verse in your work. Your classmate Daniel did a really nice job doing this in the discussion board. And I'm going to read one of the things he wrote. Daniel wrote that the guiding principle to improvement comes from the Bible. In Ecclesiastes 9, verse 10, it says, "Whatever your hands and feet find, do it. Do it with all your might, for in the realm of the deed, where you are going, there is neither working nor planning, knowledge nor wisdom. In addition, it does not matter the task to pursue excellence, as it states in 1 Corinthians 15:58. Therefore, my dear brothers and sisters, stand firm, let nothing move you. Always give yourselves fully to the work of the Lord, because you know that your labor in the Lord is not in vain. In choosing the model for improvement in this scenario, I use these verses to help me. I believe that context, input, process, and product, the CHIPP model, to be an appropriate model for the evaluation of a nursing program described. This is a great way to demonstrate a biblical inclusion and actual synthesis into your work. And Daniel's right. When we are thinking about our improvements, when we're thinking about our process, when we're thinking about our roles as a nurse educator, we should always be grounded in biblical principles. And I think Daniel did a great job here, including a bigger picture for us. You don't have to be this elaborate, but I do want to give you an example of what it means to kind of work through some verses and to tie them into meaning into your work, versus just stating a verse and giving a summary sentence. So my encouragement is to make efforts to grow in that area. Otherwise, I think you guys are doing a great job. If you have questions or concerns about feedback that was provided this week or any ongoing issues, please know that I'm here. Know that I'm praying for you and I want what's best for you. And that would include your academic success. As you can see in my house, it is puppy nap hour. Madeline and Gracie are over my shoulders. I'm never sure what they're doing because right now I'm facing my computer and they're directly behind me. So unless I turn completely around, I don't see what they're up to. But when they're quiet, I assume they're not tearing up something. So sleeping is good. So I'm going to get here and take them for their walk. If you guys have questions, know that I'm here, touch base, and we'll try to coordinate a time to get together if needed. Have a great week, folks.